Hello everyone, I'm Shweta and welcome you back to another inspiring episode of Alumni Chronicles from PIBA. Today we have a special guest with us, Hamilton, who is currently working as a specialist at LTIMindtree, and he comes with over 7 years of experience in the industry. So Hamilton, it's great to have you here. Thank you for joining us today. We are excited to hear about your journey and experiences.
Hey, hi team and hi everyone. So it's been pretty amazing to have a meet with you all. So right now, as you said, so now I have an oral experience of around 7+ years. But into IT, I have an experience of around 5 years, right? So I've started my career as an business analyst, so like an junior level. So where
Okay.
I was all I've actually worked with a lot of startups. So the major reason was is where I can be able to learn a lot of things, but I know even though I've worked with startups, but I didn't know what actual BA was all about, right? So, and then we had InteractX and everything, but maybe we'll discuss it about after some time. So yes, so I've started as a BA. I've also worked with two companies before, even before I joined as a PM with the firm called Doodle Blue Innovations. So where I have been, have also acted as a PM cum BA. So I have been handling the projects from the end to end, right from the actual pre-sales to the actual delivery. So it was
Okay.
actually pretty amazing to be, to actually, work, as a PM even before we don't know, anything about the PM. But thanks to InteractX and everything, I got to learn a lot of things because BA is all about agility and understanding.
Yeah.
So InteractX actually really helped me a lot of in my all my aspects. And then right now I work as an specialist with LTIMindtree. So it's been a pretty amazing journey, especially for a person with a non-IT background like me. And yes, so we can start. Yeah,
So, thanks for giving such a nice introduction, Hamilton, and covering a lot of things there. As you mentioned towards the end, you and in the beginning also that you are from a non-IT background. So, I want to understand when you started your career, what were you working as, and how then you thought of getting into a business analyst role.
great. See, I know engineering with actually like I'm a B mechanical engineer. So
Okay.
after that, I was working 2 years with a firm called ETA General. So where I was handling the HVAC projects.
Mm-hmm.
And after that, I was actually preparing for for this UPSC exam for few years. And
Okay.
then it is where I started my career as a business analyst with some few startups. So if you ask me why BA, it's all about the, um, when I was actually preparing for the exams, I used to learn a lot of things. I used to read every single day. Then, after I couldn't clear the exams, then I thought, okay, so the same amount of, application I'll be, able to employ with being a BA. So that is why I chose to become a BA, and it was pretty amazing journey if you ask me. And for the first 2.5 years, I didn't know anything about BA to be frank. And thanks to InteractX and Dibanshu, it was really an amazing journey.
Awesome. So you related your UPSC preparation with business analyst role.
Right.
Nice analogy. Okay. So moving ahead, how did you start researching about this role? Were you aware that there is some role called BA that exists in IT industry, or then you had to research? Somebody told you. How does that started?
See, mostly anyone who is from a non-tech background, they'd be mostly opting for QA, mostly, because it's been a pretty
Yeah.
easy thing. I've been offered a QA and also BA, but I know I didn't, I did some research on what it becomes to a BA. So as I informed you, I know. aligned with my vision, because I need to keep myself
Ah,
updated every single day, right? So being a BA and everything, I know you have to be updated if you're an IT, but being a BA, it gives a special access that you need to learn a lot of domains,
yeah.
knowledge, and you
Hmm.
also have to work with a lot of team. So it's not just you work with this, you have to interact with a lot of teammates, and also I like to talk a lot with my stakeholders. So it's been, I thought of all these aspects, and then I just want myself to become a BA.
Okay. So, but again, so how did you find out about this role? Was it through website or any friend suggested you there is something like this in IT sector? How did that happen?
I didn't happen, I happened to attend interview. It was like an open interview, so the actual role wasn't actually decided it. So they have an opening only for a BA.
Okay.
So it's I know I know I just actually what say I just have a word with God. So he told me that you have to be opting for BA. So
Okay, that's how it happened.
yeah.
All right, interesting. So now, as in you're working as a specialist in LTIMindtree. So, I mean, what are your roles and responsibilities there, and why this designation is called as specialist?
See, if you ask me over here, I'll be like mostly acting as a like an lead BA, right?
Okay.
Like because you have a consultant, then the senior consultant, and then the specialist. So
Mm-hmm.
it's like I know where I have to actually interact with a lot of other BAs, and I
Mm-hmm.
have to make sure that align with my stakeholders and also with my product owners or the PMs, right? So we need to make sure that the goal which has been set has been, understood well by the team,
Mm-hmm.
and also the end output is, as per their needs and specifications. So this role involves a lot of, collab with the other teams and also with the other departments,
Mm-hmm.
and specialist in the sense it's not like that, which means that I'm like a specialist with the business analysis, right? So it was how they have offered me this role. So they what exactly my specialization is, and they want me to excel in that way. So it's
Okay.
all about the role here in LTIMindtree.
Awesome. Good to hear that. So in last 5 years of your journey as a business analyst, how many domains you have come across, and can you also tell how, if you have come across multiple domains, then can you shed some light how easy it is to navigate from one domain to other domain, and what should be the preparedness for that?
Great. See, first, initially, I was working as a business analyst with with an entertainment. So it's like I worked with the firm, so it is, as I informed you, it was like a startup. So where we worked, actually worked with the metaverse, right?
Oh,
And yeah, so, initially I didn't know the ifs and buts of the metaverse, but, as a BA, you got to learn, right? You got,
yeah.
it's not that it'll take some time to learn. No, you have to learn from the day one. So even before the team gets to ask something, we need to ask them how this works and everything. So it's all about why, right? For example, if a team says anything on this any aspect, then we need to introspect and ask them why. You have a thing called five whys techniques, so that's how you actually learn everything, be it be it any decision or any aspect that you want to learn, you have to learn. And as you said, so as I told you, I've started as an with the metaverse. I've also worked with some VODs and e-commerces, and I've
Oh,
also worked with SAPs and ERPs, and I've also worked on the data migration in all these few years. So so it's not just one domain in which I work. I used to, say, as I informed you, BA is not about just, you stick with whatever you do. You have to be very much agile inside yourself, and you need to keep updated with everything. So in my case, I used to read a lot of articles in the net. We have something called Medium over there,
Yeah,
so where they actually give you a lot of insights about other domains. And exactly, with now AI and Gen AI, so you have the lot of LLMs, which actually helps you to know, for example, the specificalities about any domain. If you want to work with an insurance domain, all you have is all you have is an LLM. Can guess, can get everything from the start till end. You know what to do, right? Because earlier, some 2 3 years ago, we don't have that kind of affordability to learn everything at just one instance. But now you
yeah,
have now you have all the LLMs to learn everything at one stretch. So
exactly.
yes.
Yes, we have that sort of flexibility today, and it's an added advantage that it is an easy access to us. But still, I would like to know that how long does it take? I know it might take a longer duration to know about a particular domain end to end, and it's not that easy also. So but even if you want to know it about high level and get prepared for a particular project, so how long does that take?
I'd see, I actually usually spend a day or two to learn something, but I would assume it won't take a week, entire week. So at the max it can go up to a week to learn about the domain. It's not, you need to understand about the applications, then the intricalities. So if there is any dependencies, the risk that is happening in the domain, so and also the regulations and everything, so you got to learn a lot of aspects in this area. Like as I informed you, we need to first understand the beat any application that you do, we
Yeah.
need to understand the goal, right? And then we have to work, we have to just work along the way. And if you
Mhm.
ask me, I would generally take a day or two to understand, because I don't think you need more than an entire day or two. But if you want to start learning slower, then I think a week should be enough to learn about a domain.
Okay, so I mean, basically, domain is not a hurdle for an BA or aspiring BA to get into this role, or to, s- I mean, to switch from one role to from one domain to another domain. Okay, thanks
Exactly,
for
exactly.
thanks for
Because
sharing. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, please.
because I would like to add one more example. Like, it's becoming a myth here that where a BA in one domain has to stick on the domain for its entire lifetime. So I don't actually believe in this, because especially in this era where you have everything to get to learn and apply. So I would say that if you have the opportunity to learn, please learn, because now is the time that you got to you have everything at
Yeah,
your place. It's not that you
fingertips.
have to go and ask anyone. You have everything in just one single screen that you can
Yeah.
get that access. So yes.
Thank you so much, Hamilton, for bringing this point up. So definitely, this is going to help a lot of our viewers who's watching this. Okay, all right. Moving ahead, I now want to know how your PIBA journey started, how you stumbled upon PIBA, and yeah, all that.
Yeah, see, what happened was we were actually having some issues with my startup, so so it didn't go well. So at the time, I was actually looking for some opportunities outside. But
Uh-huh.
to be frank, I wasn't so much well confident about how an actual BA would work, because all these years we worked on the status reports, the weekly meetings, and everything, but we never know what a BA has to do, because unless and until you've worked with a big MNCs and you have a lot of experience, what it's all takes to be a BA. But in my case, I've just worked with some few startups where I had that opportunity to excel upon par, but still I don't have an idea about what a BA is all about. Then I have my colleague, she actually took the course even before me.
Oh,
And so then she told me, you have to enroll this course, and she told me that you need to be in this course, and you need And then I was like, okay, fine, so if she says something, then it should, it has to have some value. Then but still had some things in my thought, okay, how will this course be? Then I attended is one of his workshop, I think, demo. It was simply amazing. I never thought, okay, we'll be able to learn a lot like this. Then I was so interested. To be frank, I even asked my wife to join. It's not about me. I even asked my wife to join, because she was also even I told her, because I can see, she was also way smart. And told her, you can also be a good BA. But initially she was so, even to be frank, she was also working in a non-IT field, so background, so she's also having an idea about BAs. So then we took the class, and it was one, I don't have any words to appreciate what he has done to our lives, seriously. Because right from the start, how do you do the requirements, to how do you do all the end-to-end documentations, how do you involve, how do you actually inform the stakeholders. He has taught us everything that, for example, all these things which he has taught us.
Mhm.
It would have taken nearly 5 to 8 years of time for us to learn, seriously. If we, because uh, even after learning that, and when I happened to work with another organization, they were actually, I saw that no one actually knows anything about BA. So then we I thought that, it's not about here, it's everywhere.
Uh,
BA, because they thought that, no, BA is all about taking the requirements, but how, what are the methods, how do you analyze? So all these things, like, we got to know only from the bunch. And I've actually referred a lot of my colleagues and my friends too. And they were also, initially they were like, I see, Hamilton, I can't pay this much. I told them, see, this is nothing when you actually compare to the actual result that you will be feeling after the course. Then they were like, after the course, they actually informed me, call Hamilton, I need to really be thankful to you for for asking me to attend this course, because it was so amazing. And I told him, you you don't have to thank me, you thank him, so I'm okay with this. Yeah.
That's so lovely and interesting to know your story. Yeah, I completely agree to your point that the complex concepts of BA and the actual concepts of BA, he has put it in such a simple way and in a practical way that we are able to cover that in such a short span.
Right.
And the second
Right.
point that you highlighted, yes, I still see there is a gap in the market where BA doesn't know what BA role is.
Right.
Uh, yeah. So thanks for highlighting these two things. Moving ahead, can you tell us more about how the course was, how well it was structured, and how it helped you? So you were working as a junior BA, and now you were getting some clarity and some depth about BA. So how you implemented that in your job during that time?
Great. As you said, it is not a day of workshop. It was an entire month. It was actually meticulously planned, in I guess, because it is not just you do it for the entire stitch and just give it.
Yeah,
He made sure that we had a class only in the weekends, and only for some few hours, to make
yeah,
sure that we don't spend enough time. And but the ones that we learn in the class, he asked us to apply in our work. For example, in some examples, he just asked us to prepare the wireframes, BRDs, FRDs,
yeah,
use case diagrams. These were a few aspects which actually improvised whole lot on me. And you know initially, when I started to attend the course, I didn't know the difference between business analyst and business analytics.
yeah.
It's a huge difference. I didn't know
Yes,
that. But only after I got to know that, okay, we have something called business analysis and business analytics. And he actually has actually given a path, how you can be a B, and then what are the roles ahead. And he has just informed us in the start. All it takes is the uh, um, you know uh, commitment. Even though he might have informed us a lot of things, unless we employ that and we take that in a heart and do it with utmost sincerity, it's not an easy
Yeah.
task.
Yes.
And I had a good we had some few I have some few friends over there who attended that entire month, and we still have been in touch with them. And everyone is doing so well in life. And that 1 month of hard work that we have put, it gave a lot in our lives. It because after that, to be frank, any interview which I attended for a BA, I would have easily cracked. Like anything, it was like just like anything, because
Cake.
I know what they'll be, expecting to be a BA, and I know how to, and just I would also add just one more point here. Even after the classes got over, we had some one-on-one interview sessions where he actually informed me about all my things which I have to improve, and the points. This was actually an amazing thing, because I didn't know this earlier. He has actually given me a lot of inputs on how to talk well, and how to be so bold and confident, right, enough to answering the questions, right? Because in BA, it's not you just know, it is not like you learn everything and you go
Yeah.
and talk, right? It is about the spontaneity. So
Yes.
no matter how they go this and that, you need to know your path well, and you
Correct.
need to stick to your focus. And this is where he played a lot of role in us, because in BA interviews, they'll ask you to do some assignments.
Yeah.
So anyone who doesn't have an idea about BA will never ever do that, because it takes a lot of time. But
Yeah.
uh, thanks to InteractX and Dibanshu, we got to learn a lot of things like BRD, FRD, wireframes, use case, then whatever, then flow charts and everything. Have a lot of, still have that, with me, because even some few days ago is when I used to have interact with, when I used to interact with my wife, we all spoke about the time that we had, right? So we spent a lot of time in that, because at that time we were in some like an financial like an situation, but we spent a lot of time over there, and she was also so happy that we spent
Yeah.
that money, because that was it gave us a lot of like an return of investment.
Yes. Thank you so much for giving these details, Hamilton. So you also touched upon a lot of points from the mock interview and the assignments and the course structure as well, and how the Banshu has literally hand-holded you to understand the BA and deep dive into this role. So thank you for giving, like, explaining everything in so much of detail. So moving ahead, as you mentioned that in some of the interviews, you also get assignments or maybe case studies to work upon, right? So in PIB also, it's not only about it has a practical aspect. So there is nothing called of theoretical, and you also know he is not that okay with the certification sort of thing that happens in the market, right? It is way more theoretical, and he is here to build the mindset as a BA and give a practical approach to you. So along with that, we also have some assignments after every session. So as you were highlighting that you worked on a lot of things from BRD, FRDs, use case diagram and all that. So I want to know that before joining this course, were you aware that there are so many tools that are existing there for BA? And then how did you start like working on your assignments? So what was it during the course?
uh, as I informed you, if you ask me, my tools when I when before I attended the InteractX was Atlassian, Jira, Confluence, Excel. So three were the things which I used to work on, because I didn't know anything about the tools that he actually spoke about. I was like, oh my god, do we have to learn a lot of things? I was like, actually, no, because when he introduced us to the world of BA, I thought, oh my god, we have a lot of things, and I was like thinking, how did I actually miss him for all these years, right? So this was the thought which I was having that in my mind, because if I were able to interact with them even before some few years, I would have scaled up a much higher ladder. But still, I'm very much happy for the way that I have actually improvised myself. And yes, so I know, as you asked me in the interviews, they give a lot of uh,
Case studies.
case studies. They
Yeah.
ask us to write the PRDs, FRDs, and also user stories along with the acceptance criteria. V- Even before that, I didn't know have a word. I have no idea about the thing called acceptance criteria, or DOD, or the definition of ready. So these were so impactful, man. Because see, these things you can learn when you have become like a Scrum Master. So Scrum Master, you will be like able to know the stories. But
Yeah.
for a BA, so for a BA without that Scrum Master experience, I don't think they would have an opportunity to learn all these things. And beat anything. I have a lot of tools. You have something called actually Bisaji modeler, right?
Yeah.
So this is the tool which is so important in every MNC that you do, right? Because the first analysis, what is the difference between the assets and B flow, you'll be able to estimate only with this tool, right?
Yeah.
So if you ask, no, if at all, I didn't know all these aspects, it would have been a very, very difficult job for every BA to work with, stakeholders, and how to actually make them, aware of what's happening, right? Because we have a lot of stakeholders where few understands what exactly they need to know, and few will be like, they will say, I don't know anything. But the way that we need to inform them how we are going to get the stakeholder acceptance, all these tools and techniques, then this UI UX, this screens and
Yeah.
wireframes, everything he actually informed us on how to talk to the client. Because you know what, in the workshop we got into two teams. So
Yeah.
we as a team will be actually, we act like as a BA, and the other team will be acting like a stakeholder. So it was it gave us an impression of how exactly the requirement workshop session will be, where it
Yeah.
is, so it is not just one on one, but where you need to interact with a lot of stakeholders. So yes, so all these aspects actually improved a lot in our life.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you so much, Hamilton. So for covering that, yes, you highlighted towards the end that you have some sort of setup of two teams, which it presumes to be a real world scenario, the way it works in the IT, and this also helps you to understand the setup of a requirement workshop or interview, and also give you clarity and confidence to move ahead with. So thank you for highlighting that. Now, as we are towards the end of the session, so you in the beginning you were mentioning about LLM and Gen AI. So I would like to ask you a question related to that, since now we have this in place, right? And it, as you know, that this technology is uh, changing rapidly. I mean, there is a lot of advancement seen in very rapid pace. So, how do you think it is going to help or affect the BA role in IT sector?
See, every role is about to change with the help of AI, and also this Gen AI. So,
Mm,
it is not that we can't be avoiding them at any cost. It is actually, it is, it is the reality. We have to accept the fact that it'll actually, what say, like take up some few jobs which is there in the market. But eventually, I don't think, you can't be taking the entire BA, or any role as such. But what as a BA that we can do is, that we can actually uh, use the impact of AI, right? Where, for example, if you want to write the stories, it will take a whole week of time to write one for an entire application. But with the help of LLMs, you can do it matter of few minutes, right?
yeah,
But the only thing that you need to do is you need to do a lot of actual checkup, right? So it's
yeah,
not that you just accept the LLM as it is. You have to actually have to review the entire answers from the LLM, because we can't be, see, AI
Line.
cannot be trusted at any point of time, right?
Yeah.
So you have to actually actually verify each and every answer, and you need to do some alterations here and there. It is how. But for example, without the LLM, it's not easy to work on two to three applications at the at the same time. But now with the LLM, you have an opportunity to work with two to three applications at the very same time. So I would say, for for everyone out here who is in BA or any field, use the things about AI, and you can just see how you can go along with the AI, right?
Mm.
So AI is like so it is like a stream, right? So you are like a boat. If you go ahead in the stream, then you land up in a very good place. But if you try to go away away from the stream, then I don't think like you'll be able to survive in this you know
Yes.
agile market. Yeah.
Yeah, you highlighted it correctly that we need to adapt and we need to accept the reality that this is something we have to live with because this is going to stay. And accordingly, we need to be flexible enough to change ourselves
Yeah.
and work towards it and understand how AI works and take help from it. It could be an assistant to a BA, and definitely it is going to like help us in with the time management. Okay,
Correct.
so thanks for highlighting these points, Hamilton. Towards the end, I have one last question for you. Do you have any message for any aspiring BAs like you were back then, who are in the phase of transition, who are looking out of some role and to get into IT, maybe who are as you were, right, you were a talkative person, you need something which is client facing, and somebody is also looking out for the same, but they are not aware of a
Mhm.
BA role. So do you have any message for them?
See, for anyone who is aspiring to be a BA, you're all welcome, because we are there. We have a big community with InteractX who can actually try to help you out. And BA is like, so it is not like a job. It is like a skill for your entire life. You can apply that BA in your entire life. You'll be able
Yeah.
to understand your friends well, family well, right? So we can't, it is not that you'll be able to work in an firm. You'll be able to employ that everywhere in the world. So BF, if you ask me, it is like an entire life skill. And you can easily learn everything with InteractX, especially because I've paid a lot of money in giving some online certifications. Trust me, it doesn't work in any way, because they are just they gave you a broad idea, but I don't think you'll be able to, unless and until you apply that
Do
in
it.
your life
Hmm.
with some examples. It's not easy a job. And if you have any doubts, you can always actually reach out to me, and also to InteractX, obviously. And because so it is not like an Himalayan hills, right, where you need to climb up the ladder. Just an easy. So on the way, like so it might seem like a big step, but every step that you take will actually lead you to the path.
Oh,
And but for the existing BAs, I would imply that so with AI and everything, you need to actually skill up yourself. So you need to actually scale up. So you also try to get hands on with the other applications like SQL or BI, and other aspects, because you can't be just saying no, I won't learn anything, because you have to learn, and we have to upskill, and at every single day. Yeah,
yeah.
so this would be my message to all that.
Thank you, Hamilton, for your message. I definitely know that this is going to help a lot of aspiring BAs out there, and also the last message that you put out for the BAs that are existing BAs in the IT industry. So it's going to be a help for both of them. So thank you for that. And thank you so much for taking time out for this particular connect. It was very insightful talking to you. Thank you so much. I wish you all the best for your future endeavors.